Good morning, guys. Today I'll be showing you how to make a very simple lentil curry. It just goes with any types of vegetables that you have in the fridge. It's nutrient packed and it's absolutely delicious. And did I mention that it's easy? If you're interested, then please keep on watching because you will not regret learning how to make this recipe. It is so easy and so yummy, and also stays in the fridge for very long and freezer friendly as well. So really, there's so many pros to watching this video. Without further ado, I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. So first, you want to cut up some of your onion. I'm only using half an onion because I was using the other half for something else, but half an onion was more than enough, especially because I was using a large onion. So if you're using a shallot or a smaller onion, then one will suffice, will equal this half. Just use your eye to measure, And I actually used this cutting technique to make it easier for me to cut up this onion because it makes it a bit faster by scoring it the other way, then cutting it the other side. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I hope you saw. And into that I added in some oil, and then you're just going to let it fry for 3 minutes for the onions to soften and the kitchen to smell like frying onions. I love the smell of onion and garlic in the kitchen. And while you're doing that, we're going to move on to our garlic. Now, to release the garlic from the skin, you just press it down with a knife, and that makes the garlic get mushed, except for the skin, right? And then you're easily able to peel the skin off, and that's just what I did there. And I did that to the rest of the garlic cloves, and then I minced them. With the garlic, I actually don't mind taking some time to mince it, just because I feel like it brings in a whole lot of more flavor when the garlic is smaller, even better when it is crushed and is made into a paste. But nonetheless, this cutting technique also works. You can just move the knife in an up and down motion whilst moving it side to side to mince it into your desired size. And then I added that to a pot, after which I added in some salt, because guys, say it with me, salt at every stage. It is so important to add salt in the beginning of the cooking process as well as at the end. I used to make the mistake of only adding salt at the end of the cooking process because I thought the salt was going to cook away, but now I've learned, add it in the beginning for a layer of flavor. Speaking of flavor, I'm also adding in my spices, which are half a teaspoon each of turmeric and chili powder and 1 teaspoon each of cumin and coriander mix, as well as curry powder. Basically the cumin and coriander mix, you could just say half a teaspoon of cumin and half a teaspoon of coriander. And then we're just going to temper the spices. I will again add a little insert here to show you why it's important to temper your spices. Whilst those are tempering, we're going to chop up my vegetables that I'm going to be adding in this round. So I usually don't add in all my vegetables at once because they do have different cooking times. And like I said, I like my vegetables to cook properly and layer flavor. And I find that cooking vegetables in their appropriate time, even if it might take longer, does help to really define this flavor in your curry. So I just added in my potatoes because my potatoes will take the longest to cook out of the rest of my vegetables. And I added in some water, about half a cup of water, just to steam the potatoes, and after which the water has evaporated, I will be adding in the rest of my vegetables. In the meantime, I'm going to cut up my carrots and basically all my vegetables really. And how I like to cut my carrots is I like to cut them at like a slanted angle because I just think they look prettier that way. Guys, I'm showing you how to make your dishes look even more inviting. I'm not just showing you how to make them taste better, but how to make them look better. I also cut up 2 baby marrows, or also subbed in as 1 large zucchini if you have zucchini. And I also cut up my tomatoes. I almost cut up my mushrooms, but then I was like, psych. And I just sliced up my tomatoes. I wanted to cut them a bit smaller so they don't take too long to cook. But it's fine because they will disintegrate into our wonderful curry sauce. So you don't have to worry about cutting them too small. Just ensure that the sizes that you do cut them are consistent and they are the same so they can get cooked at the same time. After 10 minutes had passed and prepping my vegetables, I put in my tomatoes, carrots and zucchini, as well as a teaspoon of whole spices, which included mustard seeds, cumin seeds, coriander seeds, a couple of peppercorns, a little bit of cinnamon sticks, and I think a cardamom was there as well. These whole spices are not necessary, they are optional, but like I said, I love flavor and I decided to add this on a whim. It was very spontaneous of me. I saw them and I was like, hey, I'm making a curry, might as well add them in, although I do wish I added them in when I was tempering my ground spices, but it's fine, flavor is flavor. And then lastly, amongst my vegetables, I added in my mushrooms. I added them in last because I didn't want them to overcook and run the risk of cooking out too much of the nutrients, so I added them in last. After which I added in another 1/4 cup of water to help the vegetables cook and so that they're not too dry. Lastly but not leastly, after giving these vegetables 10 minutes to cook on medium high, we're going to add in our lentils, after which we will decrease the heat to low. The reason why I like to add in my lentils here whilst there's still some time remaining is, first of all, they are cooked, so I don't have to add them in the beginning and I don't want them to become mushy, but also I want them to still absorb the flavor, so you want to add them in whilst there's still a little bit time left for the vegetables to cook so they can become merry and really absorb the sauce nicely and be delicious. And lastly, I added in some salt to taste, and then I was done. What's left is for you to serve and enjoy.